Hello English 101 students, this is Mr. Branham. I want to spend a little time today doing a little wrap-up and review for the causal argument. So as you know, the causal argument is the final paper that you write for English 101. So it should contain all the things that we've covered so far as far as structuring and developing an argument. We also think about the causal argument as a transition to English 102, where you will keep everything that you've learned this semester and apply a lot more information from sources. So think about it, final paper for English 101 and a good transition to English 102. So with this paper, I just want to go through this peer review checklist, which again is something that I always use with face-to-face classes. But in this case, we'll kind of do the best that we can. And as always, if you have a question or a comment, need clarification on something, you can send me an email. But like with the other peer review checklists, same basic layout is the same. So we have the same categories of skills, from format to structure to development, and then of course your revision and editing, just getting it all polished up, those general English class kinds of concerns. So let's go through this thing. So first of all, with format, so again, we're making a transition to English 102, hopefully for most of you. And you should have some basic ideas or basic knowledge of the MLA format as you go into the second class. So this essay should have near perfect MLA format. So if you look back at your old papers, your classical argument or your definition argument, and I make comments about your MLA page setup, so please take some time to review those and make improvements for this final paper. So the MLA format tells us how to set up our papers, but it also covers how we put sources into those papers. So with this, if you have quotes, paraphrases, and summaries from your sources, they should be written in the correct format, including the source attribution, which means that the first time you introduce a source, you include the author's full name and the full title of the source. From there on out, second time you quote from that same source, you can use the author's last name for the reference. So then, of course, with documentation, that's just something that's applicable. If you have print sources with traditional page numbers, with the database articles and ebooks that you may be using, you're probably not going to have those page numbers, so there's no need to worry about that. And last part, as far as your format, second thing we do if we put a source into an argument is we put it on a works cited page at the end of the essay. So with your works cited page, just like with the rest of the paper, has a specific format as far as the setup of it. With this, we have an entry for each of your two sources, and make sure we follow all the format details as far as line spacing, the indentions, which with the works cited page we use the hanging indent, which we can set up in Microsoft Word. And of course we have the alphabetical order of source entries by author's last name. Kind of a frequently asked question, what do you do if you don't have an author's last name? With works cited pages, the structure of the entries are always in the same order. We have the author's name, we have the title of the source, then we have the publication information. So if you don't have an author's name, start with the title, and that's okay. So that's your format. Second point is the structure. And with this one, if you had a hard time with the definition argument, you'll probably like this essay better because it's a little more straightforward. And it's a lot like the classical argument structure in that you have your claim, then you have several points in the body of your essay, and then you have your rebuttal. So let's just go through the details. So the essay should start with a thoughtful title that forecasts the argument's claim. And you can do the old standard causal argument, then put in your topic. Or if you prefer a more creative title, that's okay too. As always, the essay begins with an introductory paragraph that seeks to get the reader's attention, provides necessary background and context, and includes the argument's explicitly stated claim. So claim is very important, should follow the X causes, does not cause Y formula. So we should have that explicitly stated in the introduction. Then we have the body of the essay, which is organized according to one of the three options for the causal argument structure. You could use a causal chain, which is a series of events leading from the cause to the effect. You could do the multiple causes option, You could also do the multiple effects or consequences. So pick one of those and use those to organize the body of your essay. So each body paragraph should begin with a topic sentence. This could be a causal link or a cause or an effect regarding, or I guess depending on the frame type that you choose for your organization. So with this, make sure that we have a body paragraph which begins, or each of your body paragraphs should begin with specific topic sentences, and these could be your causal links, your causes and effects, just something to signal to your reader what the contents of that paragraph are, and you'll be okay. Then, of course, the argument contains a conditions of rebuttal section that summarizes possible opposing arguments and attempts to respond to those opposing arguments through refutation or concession. So that's important. Then, of course, the last part of the essay is the conclusion, which wraps up the argument and brings the essay to a close. Sometimes we'll repeat the essay's claim, and that'll be the end as far as your structure. Okay, next point is developments. So again, with this paper, we're going to keep the same type of evidence that we've used all semester, which is that first-hand evidence, your opinions, your experiences, and your observations. But again, since this is a transition into English 102, you're also going to be using evidence from sources. So just to go through here, make sure the argument's introduction contains more than just the claim, may contain information from sources, may contain an interesting example, something to grab the reader's attention, but you should have a developed introduction. Also, each body paragraph, which again will be a causal link, a cause or an effect, should be developed with appropriate grounds and backing, which should include a combination of the first and second-hand evidence. Then, of course, the conditions of rebuttal is also developed with a combination of first and second-hand evidence. And then the conclusion itself is more than a sentence long and may include evidence from sources. So that's all we have as far as development. So make sure that you have that combination of first and second-hand evidence, and that for your source material, you're doing your correct attributions and documentation. And then with the last part there is the grammar and mechanics. So please make sure that you read through your essay a few times to check it for errors in spelling, grammar, and punctuation. And also important things like word choice and sentence flow, and making sure that we have the correct, clear information that we need in each paragraph. So I encourage you to check your rough draft against this peer review checklist before you submit your final essay. And remember, with this, in order to earn full credit, you include the essay itself, of course, but also your works cited page for your 2 entries, and that'll be or make you eligible for all the points for the assignment. So, but please check your course syllabus for the due date. When you need to have this in, generally it's going to be the last scheduled day of class, but it may vary depending on when you join the class. So make sure you check your course policy statement and syllabus. So, but for now, that's all that I have. So again, if you have any questions, you need clarification on any issue in this review, please make sure you send me an email at matt.branham@kctcs.edu. So thank you very much for checking out this video, and hope to hear from you soon. So have a good day. Bye-bye.